What is up, everybody? Episode 151. I am running the show tonight as in like no intern Ben. So everything would get blamed on me, and I'm trying to make sure things aren't muted here. It's all funky. How you doing, Nick?
I'm doing all right. Just hanging out. I had a tournament this weekend, and now I'm just chilling back in my place.
All right. Shout out into the chat. First one here. Ryan Tennyson says, say hi to me. There you go. Hi. And tell us if Nick's audio sounds good tonight, everyone. We've been having Nick on blast lately, so.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's all right. Evan, what's up, dude?
Not much. What's going on with y'all?
All right. I'm glad you asked, Evan. Story time.
Oh boy.
Story. Yes.
Perfect segue.
Yeah. Story time with Matt. Here's the deal. I've got a lot to say. About 30 minutes ago, thought I was going to the emergency room for a broken ankle. It's true. I am not going to the emergency room right now. I said the show must go on. I was laying on the ground with my foot elevated in ice, crying in pain. So I'm a little bit out of sorts, but I got some pain meds in me now, and here I am. So we don't need to go on, but I will say when I fell, which is what happened, I jumped through. I'll tell you. I went outside. We have a refrigerator on the back deck. Long story short, whatever. Got cold drinks in there. I went out to get there, and it was raining out. It's under a over canopy, but I went through the rain a little bit. My LL Bean, shout out to Worlds, LL Bean slippers, rubber bottom, got wet, and I kind of jumped in through the back door, my slider door, when I hit the wood floor. Literally, I can replay it by saying it seems like what Paige Pierce explained. Like, if you remember what she explained, I literally felt that, and that was literally what was in my head. I was like, this is what happened to Paige. And I was laying there just like, like literally, like my son says I wasn't yelling, but it felt like intense. So that was literally within the last hour. I'm at a place where I can put a little pressure. I don't think it's broken, but I'm going to find out tomorrow morning and decide what I want to do. But that's a Monday thing, right? Then I didn't tell you guys this. I, this morning, was going to get like some, I think it was salt or something, out of a cabinet. And you know those canning jars? That's a funny thing to say, but you can like green beans or pickles or whatever. I go to get the salt out, and it pulls one of those jars out. And we have a granite countertop, and I follow the jar down, like trying to catch it. And you know what happens? It just shatters on the granite. So got a Band-Aid on. I sliced my thumb this morning. It's a weird day. That's all I have to say. Happy Monday. The other story I tell you before we get into the thick of it all, I want to say major congratulations to my son, Hunter. I tried to get him on for an interview, everybody. He may at some point, but I don't think it's tonight. He just took down his first ever, you may be surprised to hear, non-junior event ever. He has 8 wins. Now he has 9. 8 of them were junior divisions. Well-deserved and well-earned. The junior divisions are no joke, but this was against full-grown men. And
with beards.
Yeah, with beards. Evan's division included. Hunter took it down, shooting an average of 966 rated at 13 years old. I actually shot the worst event average of the last 15 years, and I don't need Statmando to tell me that. So my son did great. I hope somehow my powers rubbed off to him, and he just he did it. But no, I can't give it. Can't take any
quick
credit. Pause
on that. In Matt was playing in a different division than Hunter, but in round 1 they played the same layout. Hunter beat you by what, 6 strokes?
He beat me
by more. So it's not a dig on you, Matt, but it's to showcase Hunter had a good weekend. Yeah, you guys were neck and neck. Like Hunter had you by a few more under, but you were about halfway through, and then you just got a couple bogeys. There's some tough holes there, and they got you.
Yep.
But yeah, Hunter came out on top, and you played a different layout the second round, but he beat me by a lot in both rounds. I think over 10 plus strokes both rounds. So it was a 20 plus stroke loss for me. And Ben's played that course a few times, Westy Acres, but it's changed its layout throughout the months or years. We played it on Wednesday, same layout that Hunter played. I think Ben shot like a 2-3 down, and Hunter was like 8 or 9 both rounds. Yeah. So Hunter smashed Ben's I don't want to say record. That's not the right word. Score. Both
We're
rounds.
razzing on Ben,
setting.
and he's not even here. By the way, Ben is camping or something, so it's fair game. No.
Yeah, it's one, it's fair game. Two, it's not razzing on Ben because Ben beat me by a lot on that round and both my rounds this weekend. I was the worst of the show, and I think that's how it's going to be for the foreseeable future. But yeah, congrats to Hunter.
Yeah. Hot round. I mean, he tied the hot round the first day and then hot round the second day solo. So like he goes on the way home, Dad. And I think he's like trying to set himself up for like not being disappointed. Where he's like, Dad, he's like, I know I got to get better, but when can I play M1? And I'm like, bro, you can play it whenever you're ready.
You can start now.
Yeah. I was like, why don't you play the
performance?
Maple Hill event? I said, because we have one coming up in a few weeks. Play that in AM2 and see what happens. And then like, maybe that's it. You don't need it anymore, you know, like go on up.
Mm-hmm.
So good for him.
Yeah, I'll say this. A fun little story for Hunter. He got a little cup trophy from winning. And what does he do as soon as he gets it? Takes pictures with the podium crew. He goes over, takes out his leftover Gatorade, pours it in, and just chugs it out of the cup.
Nice.
And then right after, he's like, I got to clean it out. It's going to get sticky. So he pours water in it and scrubs it out with his disc golf towel. Kind of funny. But
yes.
Yeah, smart kid there. He's having a ton of fun winning tournaments.
That's right. And I am so proud of him. Dude, I asked him, this is a whole segment on him apparently. I asked him on the way home. I said like, hey, do you remember how far you've come? Do you remember how you used to play disc golf? And you know, it was interesting. He knew what I was talking about. It wasn't the skill so much. He was always skilled. And he goes, yeah, back like 2 years ago, I used to think that I had to go for everything. That's what he said. And he kind of made fun of himself. He's like, I have to get this birdie. I have to throw this shot. I have to, all this stuff. And he's at a really wise spot now at 13 years old. He knows the smart golf play. And I believe that's why he took it down like hardcore by 6 strokes. So congratulations again, Hunter. Proud of you. All right. Also, at that event, I know it's local and a lot of our listeners are not local, but shout out to this local scene. That course has me wanting Redemption, number 1 and 2, because it's pretty cool out there. 3, Nick, and I'm saying this with all seriousness, I think we might have the most amount of fans at this location in Massachusetts, like than anywhere, possibly. It could be the most concentrated. Yeah. I've been a lot of places and a lot of fans. They're all great fans. I'm not saying one's better than the other, but the amount of love we got out at this event was super high. Shout out to the spotters, Remy and Will. My understanding is they're a spouse like duo, spotting duo. She apologized for stopping me mid-round. She said, is it cool? Can I get a picture? And I'm like, I'm an amateur. You can't mess me up more than I'm already messed up. Like, let's get a picture. So shout out to you, Remy. And Will down there, thanks for finding my disc that I threw OB. So
nice.
Very cool. Anyways, really cool. I really appreciated the hospitality out there. You definitely need to go check out that course. It's very awesome. Okay.
Well, I'll be up in a couple weeks, and we'll hopefully, your ankle permitting, we'll be able to go get some filming out there.
In all seriousness, I just don't know right now. To your point.
Yeah.
Hopefully willing. So Nick, tell me about this company, Discology. It's new on my radar. It's new on my radar, but from what I see and what I'm looking forward to experiencing, it's worth talking about here. Let people know what Discology disc golf is.
Biggest thing we're talking about with Discology disc golf is premium disc golf bags. Now, their shop actually does have a lot more than just bags on it. They have retrievers, they have putter pouches for carts and stuff like that, but the main idea of Discology disc golf is premium bags. They actually have 2 awesome looking bags. I will be getting one of them very soon. It's the Discology OG V2, and I'm getting it in the smoke gray. It's definitely, if I was to look at it and compare it to something else, it looks exactly like or not exactly, but it looks very similar to one of the grip bags, which is what I currently use. But
very clean.
For the price of $89.99, it beats any other bag company that I've seen out there. And they also have a new bag coming out. It's on pre-order right now. So if you go onto their website, discologydiscgolf.com, they have a pre-order for their new Icon bag. And it's a little bit more of an open layout type bag, but they have a sapphire blue and a crimson red color scheme coming out. So go on to discologydiscgolf.com and check out their bags. They are premium bags, and they also have a couple different ones, but those are the 2 main bags. And little shout out to them. We'll also be doing a video with our new bags very soon. They've been awesome. They're going to be hooking us up with some pretty sweet bags. And so we'll actually get some reviews on a YouTube video as well. But like I said, go on to Discology, discgolf.com, and you'll be able to find, if you're looking for a bag, if you're looking for a putter pouch for your cart, even if you're looking for a retriever, go check out their website and order away.
Discology. That name's kind of like Discology. When you put ology on something, it sounds like important. So I already feel that way. I can't wait to feel important wearing their bag.
Exactly. I'm very excited for it.
I mean, no, I'm not important. What am I joking? Maybe the bag will help. Maybe I will be.
There you go.
Discology, discgolf.com. So people are like, oh, we started early now. I'm seeing the chat, our friends on the chat, our live chat, which is a couple % of our full listening audience, but we're starting early now. Guys, I might have just broke my ankle off half hour before the show. And I said, we got to go early so I can get out of here and go to urgent care. So right now I'm kind of readjusting and trying not to feel the pain. We started early with that intention in mind because the show must go on. I did not want to reach out to Cole and say, Cole, I can't do it. He would go, dude, you broke your ankle. Go. That he doesn't care. And so the same thing with Missy.
Yeah.
We lined them up. It's a show. We want to give them their spotlight. The show must go on. Was started early. Gosh darn it. And we'll get it done. So here we are. My wife's like, you're crazy. And I'm like, yeah, it's all good. Let's go.
Yeah.
I hopped down the stairs on one leg. She helped me. Anyways, here we go. So Evan, let's get to actually the meat of disc golf. The Ledgestone Insurance. Oh, what is it? Open presented by Merrill.
Discraft Ledgestone Open.
Presented by Merrill. Right? Presented.
I saw that in Cole's post. It does not say that on PDGA, but I did see that in Cole's post.
I think it was a late sponsor edition, so they were able to update the logo, but I don't think the PDGA event name, it was too close to it. I don't really know.
It's an elite
we just have the DGPT, the Discraft Ledgestone Open.
I get
every time you heard it.
I get excited when I hear Elite Plus because I feel like it's more disc golf and it feels special, and they did a good job. Elite Pluses feel that way. We'll have more to talk about in regards to the event, how we feel about it, but what happened, Evan? Tell us what happened at this event.
Yeah, well, got to start off. 18 holes of Northwood Black for both MPO and FPO live coverage. So they were able to make it work. So it was very cool to see. No more of that half round started on hole number 10. But we had an exciting tournament. Let's start with Cole Redalen. He wins his first Elite or Major victory. If we go back to his first Elite or Major top 10, it was at this event in 2021. He comes out and gets his first dub here. He doesn't even have an A-tier win in his career. This is the first A-tier or better. He's won a ton of B tiers and C tiers all throughout Oregon and alike, but he gets his first win on tour. He didn't even have an Elite or Major podium on the year, and I believe this is number 4 for him on this season. He also was shooting fire. He tied the course record at both Northwood Black in round 2. They played Northwood Black in rounds 2 and 3, and Eureka Lake in rounds 1 and 4. That's the MPO. And then in rounds 4 at oh my goodness, Eureka Lake.
Eureka.
Yeah, right. It sounds kind of weird to say it slow, but I won't. He shot 14 down, which ties the course record there as well. No solo course records, but tying it is pretty dang good. There was the hot round of Eureka Lake. Oh my goodness. And Northwood Black for the week, but it ties, I believe, Calvin Heimberg's record set last year at Northwood Black at 9 down. And Eagle McMahon and Ricky Wysocki from 2019 Worlds at Eureka Lake ties that course record. He shoots a 1093 rated final round. As of now, it's of course unofficial until Tuesday ratings update every month. That is the best final round rating for an Elite or Majors winner's first win. That's hopefully that makes sense.
If you didn't, just hit the 30-second back on your podcast machine.
Yeah, right. Out of all the first career win for anyone from Elite and Majors, that was the best final round rating. That's something we haven't seen a lot this year, is just someone coming out and winning it in the final round. The best final round rating from a winner this year that we saw was Paul Macbeth at PCS Open. Remember, he had to catch James Proctor out there in Norway. Cole Redalen had the lead. He had Ricky Wysocki behind him. He had Calvin Heimberg behind him. He had fun names like Andrew Marweed and Casey White right behind him, who played stellar. He had a lot of names and was like, nah, I'll see you guys all later, and goes on to the 5-stroke win.
Yeah.
Super cool for him to see. Calvin Heimberg, like I said,
don't
playing
talk
well.
about it.
He played phenomenal. He was
I
off Cole's.
But I know
Cole's
better than to
score.
pick him to win when he's just going to get a podium again. Like, I could do that every week, Calvin. But I picked him to win, and he let me down. It was
This is
good,
what people want to
exciting.
see. This is what people want to see out of Calvin in the final round, is hunting him down.
Aces.
If Cole was making mistakes, if Cole had nerves that actually got to him, he might have had nerves anyways and overcame him. But if he had nerves that got to him and brought him down, Heimberg was right there to take the win. He did everything he could have done. Just Cole had the lead and played 1 stroke better.
Let me just say, I'll go back on what I just said. He did not disappoint with his play. Calvin didn't.
Yeah.
So I'm not disappointed. I actually feel like, okay, I picked him solidly. Like, he did not disappoint, but he just couldn't catch Cole because Cole had that lead. It was, the ace though, can we just say, pause, the most excited like I've pretty much ever seen Calvin was just like pumped, the woo out of his mouth, the hands in the air. It's like my 9-year-old's like, dude, we've never seen anything like that out of Calvin. So very cool. I was happy to see that.
Yeah, very cool to see. That's his 10th elite or major podium of the year. We still have a handful of elite or major events left in the season, but he's only the 4th MPO player to do that, joining Dave Felberg, Paul Macbeth, and Ricky Wysocki. The latter two doing it a handful of times, but Heimberg doing it for the first time in his career, getting number 10. That's insane. He has 2 more, I believe, at silver events, and he got Idlewild, D-Glow, MVP, Worlds, USDGC. I think I might have named them all, but that's a whole lot of events left that Heimberg can get more podiums at. Quickly going down the leaderboard, we had Ricky Wysocki in 3rd place. He was the reigning 3-time champ here at Ledgestone, 3 in a row, although one of those being the tie with Calvin Heimberg year, but still nonetheless, 3 in a row, trying to go for 4 straight. Played great, but again, got beat by Cole Redalen. Doesn't get that win, but we have to highlight Ricky Wysocki birdieing hole 12. That's the infamous par 5, the hardest course on tour. Sorry, the North of Black, but the hardest hole on tour is hole 12. And he goes and birdies it twice. There was only like a handful of birdies through both rounds, and he did it in both, gaining over 4 strokes on the entire field just from that hole.
Insane.
Unreal. Played incredibly well. Other names to mention is Ezra Robinson picking up, 3rd or 4th top 10 of the season. I think it's his 3rd top 10 of the season. He has 5 elite or major top 10s in his career. The other 2 that aren't from this season are both at Idlewild, which is where we'll be next week. So keep an eye on Ezra Robinson playing better than his brother Isaac Robinson, who just took the number 2 spot in Pro Tour standings, but finished
Nick,
lower down the
list. Were you impressed with Ezra? Because I was blown away. Skill level is like one thing, but to do it consistently at an elite plus blew my mind in the woods of Northwoods. Like, what did you think?
Well, I was going to say, because if you know who Ezra is as a player, you kind of think of him as this power player. We've seen him at the New World Complex and some other events where he has a little bit more room to showcase the big arm, and then also a solid putter. But then over at Northwood, being able to see him just cleanly pure those lines, make the upshots, make the putts where he needed to. Yes, very impressed to hold it all 4 rounds together, 2 of them being at Northwood Black.
Incredible.
I don't have any more stats to mention, but do want to at least list off Andrew Marweed getting, actually, I do have a stat. His first top 10 of the season at Elite or Majors, getting a 5th place. Simon Lizotte getting 6th place, narrowly beating Casey White in 7th place. And Chris Dickerson had a little bit of a quiet year, finishes 8th with James Proctor 9th and Adam Hammis 10th. Interesting enough, this has been noticed by a few people, so we looked it up, but there was not a single tie within the top 10. Each person in the top 10 had their own unique score. Wasn't even a tie for 10th, wasn't a tie, 2 people tied for 9th. No tie scores in the top 10. It doesn't sound too crazy, but it's incredibly rare. I got to look this up real quick, but I believe it's only the fourth time. Yeah, only the fourth time in MPO elite or major history that has ever happened. The first time 97 Worlds, and then 2011 Pittsburgh Flying Disc Open, and then 2015 Aussie Open. That's like, if you're thinking about like baseball and no hitters or immaculate innings, that's, I mean, they play a lot more games, of course, so there's a lot more opportunities that don't happen. But still, not a single one since 2015 and only 4 since 1982. That's nuts for such like a weird thing of no ties in the top 10.
It is kind of wild, because normally you see that even at your local event, you see a lot of ties, and then at the big stage, I mean, some tournaments this year on the Elite Series, we've seen 2 or 3 people tied for second place or third place or whatever. And so yeah, that is a very interesting stat.
I can't comment because I was just texting with Cole. Sorry. He's been bombarded with media like since yesterday's win, and so he's like finishing up other interviews, and he's like, I'm trying. So he'll be on, people, probably about 15 minutes from now, and we still have Missy lined up as well. So it's all going to be awesome.
Perfect.
Where are we at with the stats, Evan? We didn't get to FPO, right?
I'm about to.
Okay,
you mentioned Missy.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Swing into her stats, which her 6th win of her career at elite major, and silver events. Excuse me for getting nicked up by that, but that's her 4th elite win, with one of those being the Tour Championship. That big win. She also has a throw pink win, which isn't included in elite or major or silver, but incredibly good win there, almost a major, but not quite the technicality. She has 2 silver wins as well to round out the 6. I mean, she's been noted as Big Money Missy. That nickname's thrown in a lot lately, and it is true. She has, if you look at high paychecks in the recent years, it's Kirsten Tatar, it's Paige Pierce, and then Missy's consistently 3rd, right behind those 2. If you look at average payout from elite and major wins, she's number 1 by a lot. Of course, a little bit inflated because of the Tour Championship win that paid out a lot of money, and people like Tatar and Pierce have a lot more wins that kind of round out that number, even if they get a Tour Championship. But she shows up for the big events. She won Ledgestone last year. She hadn't won a single PDGA event since then. Ledgestone was held a little bit later in August, so it wasn't a full year without a win, but close to it. Gets it here, goes back to back. No Pierce, no Tatar in the field, but otherwise a pretty strong field, and she beat him pretty handily by 4 strokes. She looked great out there. Any thoughts about Missy before I move on to Owen?
I think when she was on 2 courses that I don't think, weren't outside of the realm of her game. So in the sense of Sunset is on a golf course, but it's not a bomber of a golf course. And Missy, it's not like she's not a super far thrower, but she's not who we consider that elite level distance that we've seen in the FPO. But her putting and her upshot game, her accuracy has always been above average. And I think finally being able to play in the woods at one course, just Northwood Black, the shorter layout of it, and then going over to Sunset, she, not like she had all the advantages, but she definitely had the advantage of they're not playing, something like the Preserve where it's more of a distance golf course.
Yeah, I think Sunset Hills, I've talked about it before, but the kind of term called like curds or surds kind of has a few different pronunciations, but it's circle 1 in regulations distance per shot. So it's a way to tell how far you need to throw on each throw. So if a course has more par 4s, the distance can be higher, or even par 5s. Distance can be higher. It's kind of hard to compare to like a par 3 course that might be only 5,000 feet. So if you use this, it kind of factors in what the par is going to be and then how far you need to throw to get a birdie putt. Of course, for someone of my caliber, landing on the edge of circle 1 doesn't mean a whole lot because you still have to make that 30-footer. I kind of need to be more like 20 feet. But for the pros, it's kind of a better indicator because 2 shots to get to that point. I think it kind of works out the best rather than just doing like total length divided by par, other ways like that. So using that metric, Sunset Hills was, I think, around like the 10th longest of the year, something like that. Top half, kind of middle of the top half. I guess you could say like 25th percentile or so. So one of the farther throwing ones, but definitely not that kind of elite, huge distance course that you need. And Missy's no slouch for distance either. She's not going to win any competitions, but it's not like she can't hang either. Owen Scoggins finishes second. She's coming off that silver win at Mid-America, looking for her first elite or major victory in FPO. Has to wait another week, but a few good opportunities coming up. That's her 5th podium of the year, one away from her best from elite and major events in a season. Sarah Hokum finishes tied on the podium with Ella Hansen. That's Sarah Hokum's first podium at elite and majors in FPO since last year's Champions Cup. It's been a little bit for Sarah. She's a pretty consistent player, but was missing that podium for a bit and gets right back on at Ledgestone. And Ella Hansen also looking for the first win along with Owen and a few other names right there in the thick of it too.
Absolutely. Good recap. There was incredible play. There's a lot of storylines to talk about. We're going to get to that. People, and I'm stuttering here. I'm on medication now. People in the chat still like, hey, Ben can handle it. You know what? It's a Monday. I'll say it again. Sliced my thumb, maybe broke my ankle, and now intern Ben called out. The show must go on. Here we go. I want to give a shout out to our winner of this week, the 48-hour giveaway, OTR Disc Golf. If I'm not mistaken, that's a local to us. So thank you for subscribing. OTR Disc Golf. If you hear this, someone hears this that knows him, have him reach out to us. He wins a prize. I think we said 2 discs and swag.
I think we're just going to throw in a nice little goodie package.
We're 150 away. Can't we just get it over with tonight, people? I don't know how to do it except to say it with the help of the live. Maybe if everybody shared and said like, hey, would you just go subscribe? They're so close. Be that person.
Mm-hmm.
We could do it. We're so close. We're going to give away that $2,200 valued prize. We want to do that. We will do that. I know we're going to get there, but the sooner the better for everybody.
Yeah. The event is 5 weeks away. And if we can get that giveaway going well before that, that makes everything ideal for travel and everything like that. So tell all your friends to subscribe.
Right before the tournament. Hey, you won. I hope you can get your plane tickets out here.
Yeah.
Okay. So Cole will be on who knows when. No, but hopefully he was lined up for a couple minutes from now, but he's going to be a little bit late. I just let Missy know we're about 5 minutes behind. So let's move into a not topic, but a segment which we haven't named yet. We have a few ideas, but we want the chat's input. We want the YouTube comments input. This was where I mention each week after we do our picks for winning. I started this idea. I think it's fun. It says, who do you think is going to play the highest above their event average for this year? So how they've been playing this season on tour. And then we say at this event, how are they going to play? Who's going to play the highest above? What do we call that? I know, Ben, Nick, what'd you say?
What did I say?
You said something like the pop-off player or something.
Oh,
yeah. Pop.
Oh, pop.
Was it?
Pop-off
Yeah,
player.
pop-off.
Pop. Yeah, pop-off player. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, but it could just be pop,
Matt, I
pop-off player.
gotta cut you off.
Go ahead.
I gotta cut you off really quick just because we got 2 super chats.
Oh.
From my buddy Cody
Hi,
Bradshaw.
Cody.
Shout out to Cody. He just won the tournament that we are all at. He wanted me to let you all know that on hole 13, it's a par 4, and I threw a forehand and threw it pretty well. And I had a telephone pole and a telephone pole wire, probably about 70 feet in front of me, maybe 60, 70 feet in front of me.
And you split it.
I was already having kind of a lackluster round. And so I was like, you know what? It's a double mando for me. I'm going to try to go through it. And I slipped up a little bit and I smoked the telephone wire. So I probably only threw my disc about 60 feet. Got up and down for par, but I know Cody wants.
I thought you were going to say you split the disc like. Whoop.
No, I would have been really bummed about that because it's a new buzz that I've been working in. And anyways, he did super chat $4
by
so
raise of hands.
Oof.
Yeah, $4. Thank you. That's like a lot of his winnings. By raise of hands,
he won $1,000.
Okay,
I was
so
like,
that's a small percentage.
Yeah.
By raise
Like,
of hands, how many people have hit utility lines? Power lines, telephone wires, like in your throws. I've done it. In fact, I've somehow stuck it in the wires, like mid-span. there was like wires wrapped together, and I like split them. My disc stayed up there.
Ooh.
So
yeah, I've had a deflection. Actually, yeah. Quick side.
another
track.
side note, yeah.
My favorite local course, which is in just over the border into Brattleboro, Vermont, hole 2, one of the most iconic holes, maybe the second most iconic hole there. You throw in power lines. You just like can see like 4 stuck up in there at any time. And you know, it's not like you have to try to miss it. You should miss it, but then on the off chance you hit it, and there's just a bunch up there. And so you guys have to come out there sometime, but we have a lot of courses we need to play. And I don't know if that one's the highest on the list.
There's too many.
One day maybe.
There's too many, but
yeah.
So what do we call this? So pop off player, actually the acronym is POP. Who's the POP player? We could say, or pop off player. That's fine. And then that again, someone else said here in the chat, most improved. Well, you could go that route, but it would be maybe only at this event. So we're looking specifically like at this event we're talking about who played the highest above their average. What was yours, Evan? Your idea?
Mine was BOA, best above average, a little acronym for that.
Best
but I like pop off player
average.
too.
Because that's it feels like it's the pop off.
and BOA.
Yeah,
Can I just say the pop off players of the week?
Well, that's what you would do if you're recapping it. So I guess, yeah, I mean, we're picking the pop off player. So
I think it should just be a vote between Pop and BOA.
Okay.
And I kind of feel like Pop's going to win, so I don't know.
we'll let I can't put in the poll. I'm not intern Ben. Engage with your audience button, start a Q&A, start a poll. Here
I don't know. People can just, oh, okay, here we go.
No, you can do it. So we picked last week.
good.
All of us picked, and Evan's going to give us the recap, and I'll put the poll up.
Yeah, all right. Let me just pull it up real quick. If you guys are watching live, it's on a different screen. It's a little higher,
hope
so
I
know you're
won.
looking out. Well, I'll tell you this: you didn't lose, and by lose I mean come in last, because that is saved for Ben. The rest of us were all positive. Ben was negative 56 points. He picked Stacy Ronsley and Shilas Schultz. Stacy Ronsley, solid pick. She finished 12th. Her average is 17th. He got 5 points there and change. I'm just going to round to make it simple. He picked Silas Schultz, though, who on the season's averaging 27th, which is way better than any of the other ones we picked. And he finished 89th here. So he got negative 62 points from that pick, giving him a big whopping negative. All the love to Shilas. Get him next tournament. But Ben, bad pick. Going into third place, we have Nick, who finished positive, but 7 points. Picked Austin Hannum and Alexis Mandahanu.
And Austin started so well.
He sure did. Listen to this. Austin's average finish on the year is 45th. That's actually the second best, but well behind Schultz. He finished 45th. So you technically got 0.07 points because it's a little bit higher as average finish.
He was in 16th place after round 1. And I was like, that's my guy.
Let's go. But no, finished 0. But Alexis Mandahano, great pick. She's averaging 17th on the year. You get she finished 10th. You get 7 points. That was the second best FPO pick of the week.
We'll take it.
And then we got 1 and 2. It's either Matt or I. I'm going to start with the leader just to make it a little bit more exciting. Then I'll get to number 2 after. The winner of the first edition of the Pop/BOA/TBD.
It was
name.
decided. It's Pop. Pop off player.
I like it.
It's Pop.
85% of the chat.
All right. The winner of the first legit
Pop
iteration, correctly calculated Pop, is Matt.
Let's
I
go.
was a little bit early. I didn't know you were playing music.
It was so cool. I did it.
Matt, yeah, you picked Holly Finley and Greg Barsby. Holly Finley, averaging 19th, finished 8th, giving you 11 points. That was the best FPO pick of the week.
Yes.
And then you picked Greg Barsby, who's averaging 54th on the season, and he finished 19th. That gets you 35 points, which is the second best MPO pick on the week. But then, of course, the last name.
Wait, second best out of our picks, or you can actually see like all players?
No, just our picks.
That would be crazy if you could do that. Like,
I could do that too. It wouldn't take me too long, but probably not on this show. I can do it for next week.
Yeah, for next week, because that would tell you the legit pop-off player, like of everybody.
Yeah, we'd have to have probably some like minimum requirements.
Okay.
Like
we'll do that.
You know,
Statman will get on it.
Yeah, the one person who played one event prior and finished like 100th, and then so
very cool.
But
I'm privileged and honored here on the Nick and Matt show to receive this award.
There you go. And then at least covering my picks because I had the best. I had the
Mhm.
most total points from a single player. Because I had Casey White finish 7th, and he's averaging 61st on the year. He was the worst player that we picked this week. No, sorry, worst average. I don't want to say he's the worst player. When he listens back to this, he's like, "No, I'm better than Schultz." But he finished 7th, and the rest of them finished worse. So I got 54 points from Casey White, but while having the best MPO player, I had the least amount of points. I was the only person to go negative with the FPO pick. Deanne Carey, that hurt. She's averaging 19th on the season and finished 35th, so negative 16 points for me there. I finished with 37.5 points. Matt finished with 46. So
wow,
won by a good margin.
Now,
but Matt and I were kind of in our own island, and Nick, you were in the middle, and Ben was way behind.
As I was thinking about the pain in my ankle and celebrating my win, I missed how many points. We're just about to get Cole in here. I missed how many points did Nick get?
Nick got 7.17.
Okay. I did a scale, and I did less than 0, 0 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 plus. And here's what you get, Nick. Not a bad pick. Not a bad pick. That's what you get as an attaboy. How many did Ben get?
Right. Negative 56.38.
He got the, hey, try it again next time. And what'd you get?
Yeah. 37.5.
You got a gold star. And nice. I got, what, 40 something?
46.20.
I got the highest on my scale. It's incredible. You should be proud. So I am.
Nice. Incredible, Matt. You should be proud.
Should be proud.
There you go.
I am. All right. Wonderful. Well, I can hear the audio of Cole, but I can also see that he's not quite ready yet. Okay, he's ready. All right. So what we're going to do is I'm going to hit a few buttons, and we're going to try to bring him in. I think he's okay. His phone might have fell down. Let's see here. Let's bring him in however he is. It's fine. 3, 2, 1. Everybody, let's welcome to the show, Cole Redalen. Welcome back to the show, Cole.
Yeah, I was gonna say welcome back.
Yeah, let me do this. Boom. There we go. Make it look better for him. Cole, I've known you for a while in the disc golf scene, and it's just by chance that I shared a video of you from back when you were in the 15 and under at United States Junior Disc Golf Championship just this week. I know you saw it because you commented, you said something like, oh boy. But then you just went on to win your first ever higher than a B tier, and it's an Elite Plus at extremely hard course with extremely tough competition. How does that leave you feeling, dude? Speechless.
An A tier or a Silver Series or an Elite Series yet. That I don't know how I even did it. I just at 4 rounds on 2 extremely challenging tracks that challenge both sides of the game. It's something that I didn't really think was possible for me yet, and especially being in the position that I was in. I'd never been in that position before, and so just so much new territory. But to be able to pull through is absolutely incredible.
Okay, here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I don't know whose fault this is, but it always seems like the AirPods. I think it's the AirPods. If you can close out of the browser you're in, just take the AirPods out, close out of the browser, and go in without EarPods, get back into this link I sent you without EarPods, and we'll just go without them. It should work better. So if you can still, close out. There we go.
Okay.
We want to give him a better interview than that. We'll sit here like this, actually.
I was gonna say, he wins an Elite Series event and his voice gets higher.
Well, it was also lower at the same time.
And then it was also super low. Yeah.
So we'll wait for him to make it back in. It should just be a second here. I can see he's already refreshing it. Where's intern Ben when you need him?
We'll just sit on my face the whole time.
Let's see.
There we go.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, I can't hear you.
Now you can't hear us?
It's connected to my AirPods still. Where they go?
Do you hear it's like Jabba the Hutt?
Yeah. Just shut off the Bluetooth. The Bluetooth.
The AirPods are always trying to connect. I remember Nick one time. Well, now I'm hearing myself.
I think because you're finally actually hearing it on the outside.
Okay, let's see.
Someone goes, don't fix the audio. It's awesome.
He's going to have to close out again. Can you hear me? Yes or no? Okay. one more time, if the AirPods are taken away, close out of this link and come back because we're not hearing you. It's pretty funky. Yeah. It's funny. I don't know. It's interesting. This service that we use. It's actually fantastic for what it does. It's incredible customizing content, but there's something with sometimes the audio. I don't know. Nope, can't hear you. You have to, if you didn't, close out the link altogether, like wipe it out, get rid of it. And we do this enough for our guests that they hear this. I'm going to text him if he's able to hear me. So,
well, I was going to say, while you're doing that, yes. I'll talk to the chat really quick. And this is going to be a subject for later on, but someone in the chat kind of did briefly bring it up. Eureka Temp Course. Has the Disc Golf Pro Tour outgrown it? Do we like the course? Do we not like the course? It's one of those, a lot of more artificial OB is placed on the course. Kind of want to hear everyone's reaction to it. Like I said, this will be kind of a bigger subject a little bit later on in the show. But while we've got some downtime, we're getting Cole stuff set up. I would like to know everyone's opinion of it. And I don't know can you throw at me and Evan?
I can I can figure it out here. Got a lot going on.
Or just me, you, and Evan. I was going to say, Evan, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I go back and forth with this. And actually, I played with a bunch of cool people this weekend at that tournament who are fans of the show, and this actually came up. He just was not a fan of seeing that style of course on the tour, and I was like, I get that. I get it looks weird to sponsors that you're trying to pull in or new fans. Ooh, look at this, Matt. Nice view.
Very nice.
I get it doesn't look the best in that aspect, but at the same time, there's like something special about seeing kind of just like old school pro level disc golf play, like
you hear me now?
Almost like a safari kind of layout. Like something feels special about it, and maybe it's nostalgia. Maybe it's just we've had Worlds here, we've had a lot of great events here. It's been one of the best elite events through history. So maybe that just bumps up my memory of it. But like I am split. I go back and forth on it myself.
Okay, let's bring Cole back in.
All right, let's bring him back in.
And we can actually get his opinion on this too, but we'll get it towards the end of the interview. I think we can hear you now, right, Cole?
Yeah, I'm sure you can. I messed
up a lot better than before.
Here we go.
I apologize for that. It's always frustrating, I know, to be in that situation. But so you were saying that your win, it was just awesome. I heard you talking about it. To do it at this level was fantastic. I don't know, man. How old are you now?
18.
18. People talk about your maturity, and I've always thought that was interesting if you were that person hearing people talk about your maturity level. So for whatever that's worth, I don't know how it feels for you. We can ask that. How does that feel to hear people talk about your maturity level? Do you feel funny about that?
I appreciate it. I think it's more of a testament to my parents maybe than me, because they're the ones that raised me and gave me all that knowledge of how to talk or whatever. So I mean, yeah, I don't know. I give that to them, but no, I just think I am who I am, and so if that comes across as very mature for people, then awesome, great. I want to be that way. I want to be respectful. So yeah.
Well, there you go. It's a mature answer. So let's take it over. Did you have any doubts during this tournament? Doubts where you thought, man, I'm not going to be able to hold on to this, or I'm not going to be able to?
How about every single hole of round 3 and like even possibly round 4 of nervousness and doubts and like, I'm not cut out for this. Like I shouldn't be in this position. Like, yeah, that all went through my head. I know I looked like I was unfazed final day, but that's the game face you have to have. So.
Well, talk to us about, what did it take to overcome those nerves, jitters, anything like that? What was it that allowed you to just kind of push through all those things?
Yeah, I think it was just recognizing that I'm a huge believer in Jesus. There's something greater in life, and that's something that I always like try to keep at the forefront of my mind, whether I'm playing good or bad rounds. There's something greater I'm playing for. That doesn't mean whether I win the tournament, whether I lose the tournament. I don't feel like I lose that often just because I'm playing for a greater purpose. But I just think that it was a lot of like deep breaths and just prayer. Like anytime I felt overly anxious about a shot, I just like close my eyes for a second, like say like a 2-second prayer, and then be like, all right, here we go. I'm gonna execute this next shot.
And then my caddy was super helpful about that too. Evan, he's amazing. He's one of our chaplains that goes on tour with us. And yeah, he was just awesome, helped me keep me in a positive mindset. And yeah, it was just really important for me to keep my focus on something else, something greater than disc golf, and also just taking a lot of those deep breaths. A lot of those deep breaths were really helpful. That's something Corey Ellis and Eagle McMahon were definitely talking about for me before the round, was take many deep breaths even before every single shot. Like, take the time that you need to take and then execute the shot calmly and smoothly and whatever you needed to do to be successful. So yeah.
First of all, yes, Corey Ellis did talk to us about that as well, that breathing was a big deal for him out at the European Open. And for you to talk about how Jesus is important to you, there are a lot of players who do that. I feel like it's real for you. And I feel like when you talk about it, I'm interested to know more. So my question comes as in, this is kind of an interesting, touchy topic, but do you feel like it's a strategy that others should implement, whether they pick Jesus or not, to think about something bigger than what they're doing? Like, how does that work for you?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think at the end of the day, like, a trophy shouldn't define who you are as a person and who you are in life in general. You know, whether you're a believer in Christ with me, or whether you're, you know, somewhere else in life, in your direction in life. I just think it's important to maybe think a little bit more outside the box. Like, if I don't win this tournament, I'm gonna be a joke. Like, nobody's gonna like me. I'm just gonna be hated for the rest of my life. And like, putting too much pressure on your own self-worth during a tournament, I just think that's foolish. That's too much pressure on yourself, and nobody can live up to that kind of pressure. And so, honestly, yeah, I mean, it can turn into a strategy, but you know, whatever works for you personally, it works for me personally, and it's what I believe. And you know, for anybody else who has their own ideals and what they believe, then awesome, good on them. Like, I'm not here to, you know. So yeah, that's my opinion.
Cool. I'm glad you shared that with us, and I've shared on this show a few times over the years. I guess it's been 3 years now. I am a believer in Christ as well. And then people leave comments, oh, it all makes sense now. And I'm like, either way, I guess, good or bad, it makes sense to them. But congratulations on the win, Cole. It's awesome. I brought up, but when the audio issues were here, I got to know you a little bit at the United States Junior Disc Golf Championship at Smuggler's Notch, and I just posted that video. And so you've been playing disc golf a while, and I think I saw somebody in your family today post a video of you even at a younger age. So like, when did you start disc golfing? You're 18 now, so how long have you been playing?
I've been playing since August of 2015, so it's been pretty much 8 years now. Yeah.
8 years. Nick, how long have you been playing?
10.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah. 2013, 2014 is when you introduced me to it, and a couple of years off here and there. But yeah, for the most part, probably about 10.
That's a pretty fast trajectory, Cole. You talked in an interview. This was a long event. Did you say it in one of these interviews? I think you did at this event. You talked about more or less, everyone talks about a process, but you just kind of said, hey, not rushing it, just playing it. Like, that was at this event, I think, mid tournament. And then you took it down. So like, you have arrived. You didn't rush it, but now you're here. What are you thinking next? Same exact mindset, or now do you feel like the chip's off my shoulder, now I'm rushing it?
I think it definitely brings a huge weight off your shoulders once you get that first win, because then you're like, okay, I've done it. You know, officially proven it to myself, proven it to the world. Now I can go out there and do my job with all the confidence in the world, that I belong there in that situation, and that I can come out on top. But honestly, yeah, that was my mindset for so many events. Even if I was on lead card, whether I was in the lead, behind the lead, is, you know, I don't feel like I'm on my own timing, and so I'm just out there trying to do my job, and yeah, I think being hasty and trying to rush stuff is only going to hurt you, and it's only going to put more pressure on you. I think if you can just not worry about it and just wait for it to come rather than trying to rush it, you're just gonna be still frustrated all the time. So that's my biggest thing, is trying to stay positive and take the losses as a learning opportunity. I've always been huge on that. It's like, how can I learn today, not how can I win today? And I think sometimes winning can come in ways of learning, or learning can come in ways of winning as well. Both of them can be put together. You don't always have to lose to learn. So yeah, I just think for me, it's always been about learning and giving myself the opportunities to do that and gain more experience.
Yeah, you're demonstrating all of that and more. People want to know in the chat, shout out to Overthrow Disc Golf specifically. What are your other sports backgrounds? You started this at age 10 or around there. Like, did you do anything else during these years or before that?
Yeah, I played a lot of basketball, and I think I stopped playing soccer by that time. No, I was still playing soccer. I was playing soccer for a while and basketball, and then I stopped playing soccer. I started to play a little more competitive soccer, and those kids were just more competitive in soccer than I wanted to be. We'll just say that. And so I ended up quitting soccer and playing more basketball. And then I played basketball all throughout middle school for a local private school. And after that, I wasn't able to play for that school anymore because the high school wouldn't let me play for them because I was homeschooled. I didn't go to the high school. So after that, I just put all my eggs in one basket. I just put it all into disc golf. So yeah, absolutely love basketball. It's my second sporting love. Even after I won the tournament, me and my friend Ty Love and our friend Broston Wall, we all went back to the campground and played some basketball on the basketball court. It's like, I love breaking a sweat. I love doing that. And that's definitely my second passion for a sport.
Awesome.
Nice.
What do you got, Nick? Nothing?
No, I mean, I want to talk a little bit of disc golf right now and actually talk about the round. Tying the course record twice during the same event, once over at Northwood Black and then once over at Eureka. And I kind of want to talk about Eureka's a little bit more because Calvin Heimberg was also on a really solid pace going through those first 12, 13 holes. Are you checking UDisc during your round to see what other people are doing?
No, I told myself I wasn't going to check UDisc. Well, that was actually one of the things Eagle talked to me about was like, I was like, how often do you check scores during a final round? He's like, I do not check scores until maybe the 16th tee pad, just to see if I need to do anything. But he's like, most of the time, you're going to know what's going on. You're going to know what's going on with the players surrounding you on your card. You're going to be pretty aware, regardless of whether you need to check the scores or not. The only thing I was worried about was, yes, there were still 2 other players on the chase card that were tied with the 3 other people on my lead card. So that made it pretty difficult to not want to check score because I want to definitely see how Calvin and Ezra were doing. And then at that point I was just trying to stay in my own zone. And no, I was not checking UDisc. The first time I checked UDisc was hole 18 after I threw my upshot. I wanted to know how much I was going to win by. So
nice. There you go.
Yeah,
that's a pretty savage comment.
Let's go.
Awesome. Dude.
Evan, you got anything?
I was going to say, what is special about Ledgestone? That was your first top 10 at elite or major event, and now it's your first win. Do you feel like anything plays well? Are you comfortable there? I mean, it's on the other side of the country from where you're from. What's going on there that works for you?
It's a lot of golf. There's not, I'd say that, I don't know, there's not a lot of par 4s where it's like, if you bomb it, you can have a jump putt as an approach or like get super aggressive for the eagle or get like super, like, yeah, there's no holes you can get super aggressive for the eagle or like par 3s that like aren't terribly endangering, that you can really get most of the par 3s. So yeah, I think it was just about playing solid golf. And Oregon, that's where I've been playing ever since I started playing, and they have a lot of good elevation courses. They have a lot of wooded courses. They have a lot of open courses like Blue Lake. Played Blue Lake a lot in Portland area. I played Milo McIver, Hornings Hideout. There's so many local courses that kind of compare in certain ways to Northwoods and Eureka. That have helped me just, throw those hyzers in the landing zones that I need to land them in, or throw those turnovers, or throw the high turnover, or throw the low hyzer, just like all of these different angles that I've complied or thrown into my game that I've been working on for so long. And then also just a lot of field work during the off season. So I think for me, it's less about being better in the open or the woods, but just about being the better golfer, because that's what you have to be. And yeah, I did have a breakout performance in 2021. Last year, I won a redemption because that final round was canceled in 2021. So 2022, I was like 5 down through 12, having a solid first round, bogey free, and then I smacked out a 13 in the middle of that scorecard. And
I remember that.
Yeah. And so yeah, it basically just threw me out of the tournament. And like once you're even par through the first round and like 12 back, whatever the lead was last year, you're not really in the tournament anymore. And then Northwood's black when you're trying to make up ground just becomes absolutely impossible. So last year I ended up missing the cut and not even playing the final round. So the first round this year was actually the first time I went back and played hole 13 since I took a 13 the year before. Which I ended up taking a par on at round 1 because I threw it in the same bush I did last year. I was so nervous. It was ridiculous. But thankfully I got through it with a par and not another 13.
Very good.
I'm just refreshing his clip because the audio was getting a little funky again. May or may not be fine. I don't know. But as we get ready to wrap this up, we know you've been busy with interviews and other media requests, and we appreciate so much that you chose to come on our show. We had you before you were a winner. We're glad to have you as a winner. Now, Worlds is coming up, and I know, as I mentioned, we have video of you saying that you loved Fox Run. That was back when you were 15. How are you having dreams and visions coming to Worlds here in just a few weeks after a win like this? Did your expectation get higher, or is it just plateaued the same and you're like, I'm glad Worlds is at Smugs?
I guess it's true. Like, I mean, you know, Fox Run has those similar like Eureka vibes, and then the Brewster has similar Northwood vibes. I definitely think Fox Run and Northwood are probably, maybe not Fox Run easier than Eureka. I'd probably put Eureka easier than Fox Run, or maybe it's just because I play Eureka better. But definitely Brewster is a bit easier than Northwood. But yeah, I just think I've been really fine tuning my game a lot this season. It's been like kind of all over the place, with form tweaks and adjustments to help things come out a little bit smoother, a little bit more consistent, especially on the putting green as well. So, but yeah, no, I'm excited that it's at Smugs, and yeah, as long as I keep having a well-rounded game, I'm not going into any other tournament with any more expectation. Even after this win, it's just about when those opportunities come and how I handle it. So,
I got one last question for you, Cole. You were talking about whether you're winning or not, you're learning something from an event. What did you learn from this event?
I learned that even if you take 2 bogeys, you can still win the tournament. 2 consecutive bogeys, you can still win the tournament.
All right. There you go.
I think that was probably one of the biggest moments of the tournament for me was when I was up 5 and I bogeyed 14 and 15 back to back on Northwood.
Mm-hmm.
Can you guys still hear me okay?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of. Okay. So I bogeyed 14 and 15 back to back, and then laced the drive on 16 and missed that short putt. And now I was just like deflated because I had 5 strokes, and then I just went 2 over through the last 3 holes. And then I hit that drive on 17 pure and parked it and had a drop in birdie, and was able to finish that round strong and still had 4 on a Sunday. So yeah, I think if there's anything I learned was that it's okay to make mistakes, and there's still ways to come out on top. And yeah, a lot of deep breaths.
There you go.
Well, we do appreciate, as I mentioned, your time very much. You're going to be coming through our neck of the woods not too far from now either, as I'm sure you're going to be playing the playoff event at Maple Hill, and we will look forward to seeing you there. Yeah, there's a week in between Worlds and MVP Open. Do you know what you're doing yet? Are you flying home?
I don't think so.
Okay.
There's this camp that Eagles Wings Disc Golf. There's this camp that Eagles Wings Disc Golf has invited a bunch of the players to. So I think we're gonna go to that camp and maybe play some disc golf there. They have a disc golf course, basketball court. Like they're gonna feed us for the week. So I think it's gonna be like a little camp vacation for a lot of us players that was set up, and I think it'll be really fun. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be doing that. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
If it fits into your schedule at the end of that week, I have a backyard tournament barbecue. So I'll send you an invite. And if it works out, great. If not, I guess I'll beat you another day.
All right.
All right, Cole, we really appreciate your time. Have a good evening. Get some rest and enjoy the win, my man.
Hey, real quick for Evan.
Yes.
First that Mando. I need you to check on my course. Okay, I need your guys' opinion. Is it a course record only if you own it solo, or could it be considered a course record if it's tied with somebody?
Yeah, you own a part of it, in my opinion. So it's like you have it either way. You can clarify it if it's a solo or shared. But yeah, you have the course record. You own it. You own it with Kelvin. It's not like a tied win where there's asterisks. It's like I think it's a little bit more legit.
I think that's
I don't know if this is known, but I think with the tied course record on Eureka, I have 4 tied course records on tour and 2 solo ones. Wow. So I have 6 total that I don't think people have been really keeping track, but I've been keeping track. So if y'all are interested in that stat, Mando, you can do the research, but I'm pretty sure that that's also something I'm kind of proud of. Like, I know course records, like, they're going to be broken eventually, but that's definitely something, like, to prove to myself that I'm able to put those birdies consecutively together and score those hot rounds. That's kind of a huge part for me. So yeah, that's just something that I've kept track of.
So we can keep track of the pop-off player. We just started a new stat over here. Pop-off player of the event. Maybe we'll pick you sometime because it sounds like you can do it. But the problem is you average so high at your event finishes that the way the pop-off player works is we have to pick someone who's going to place higher than their average by the most. So the higher that player gets up the line, it's hard for them to have a great, above average performance. So anyways, I'm glad you used Stat Mando there. You're always welcome to reach out anytime through us or directly to Stat Mando for anything like that, I'm sure. And, we're not closing the show down. No, we're not doing a new show.
Hold on.
Oh, my goodness, Matt. Yeah. We need Ben.
Yeah, my ankle's killing me.
We need Ben back.
All right.
Cole, thank you so much. Yeah. Rest up this week. You got Idlewild coming. How do you feel going into Idlewild?
I'm going to soak it in, and I'm just going to compete like I did last week. But, hey, if I don't win, then that's fine because I won last week.
I hear you. You won the big one, the Elite Plus event. Cole, take it easy, buddy. Yep. Thank you for joining us.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.
Peace.
Okay. Yeah. Audio issues happen, and I don't know why, but it seems like AirPods are... I'm starting to, take notes on every time a guest has audio issues, and I think that's one of them. But, and that's weird if that's the case. But we do have in our green room... I'm always privileged and happy to have her here, and we got to keep track of who's been on our show the most. But I think I'm gonna take a wager here that it's been Missy Gannon a few times. So let's just get to it right now. Missy Gannon, everybody. She just took down a big one. Oh, now it says Cole. Hold on, sit tight, everybody. I know what I'm doing. Boom.
Yeah, there we go.
Gannon. In all seriousness, intern Ben, where are you? My ankle's hurting and you're not here to push the buttons. Missy, this is a big one. Every time we have you, not every time, but a lot of times we have you on, it's after a win. And then I go where does this rank? And you had throw pink, you had all these other things. Where does this one rank? It's an Elite Plus and it was great competition. How do you feel with this one?
Mm-hmm.
I think we're good now.
No, you're still good. Keep it going. Sorry.
Rounds and all of that. So yeah, I think it ranks pretty high. I don't really know where it ranks among all the rest, but I think for the fact that it's back to back, it's one of the higher ones.
Yeah. So
gotcha. Really quick.
I fixed it, Nick. So
you got it? Okay.
Yeah, so
all right, never mind.
In all seriousness, our guests are great tonight. I told Missy before I got on, I'm like, maybe I did break my ankle. I'm all messed up. Intern Ben's not here. And I was laying on the floor a half hour before we came on, Missy in pain. So I apologize for this disruption, but I tried different settings and I think her audio sounds great. She was muted for a bit, but I think I might have figured something out and I'll share it with intern Ben next week. So this is a big win is pretty much how you're summarizing it.
Yes.
Yeah. Evan.
I want to ask just really quick, back to back, you were talking about here at the Ledgestone course or tournament, and we were talking about the courses earlier. Sunset is not the longest golf course that a lot of the players play throughout the year, but then you also have Northwood Black, which is one of the most difficult wooded courses. Where and why are you finding success on both of these courses?
I don't really know how to answer that question. I think it's more just the experience that I
Okay.
have on both courses. Northwood has evolved over the years. I've been
Mhm.
coming to Ledgestone since 2018. It's one of I think in 2018 it was my first ever lead card appearance, and that was my
Okay.
first half a year on tour. So I think it's just good vibes and awesome memories, and I throw hyzers really well, which are what's required on pretty much all of Sunset. Um, and then, I pride myself on being a pretty decent woods golfer. So now that we've had a second chance at Northwood Black in this specific layout, I had success last year there, and I was able to kind of apply my knowledge and my experience this year as well.
Mm-hmm.
So you win on a consistent basis. What is that consistency to you? I mean, it feels like you're winning enough that you're in the conversation.
Mhm.
But I don't know. Evan, you intern Ben picked Missy, right? Is that what we had on stats for this week? Evan?
Oh,
Do
I
you
couldn't remember. I did the pop off picks.
Somebody
Didn't keep
picked
track of
Big
those.
Money Missy is what they said. That wasn't even that was somebody here.
Yeah.
So,
I think it was bad.
So it was a pick for you. So people will pick you. I apologize that I did not. People will pick
Your
you.
loss,
So
really.
yeah, exactly. It is my loss. It's a pride thing here on the show. So you're in the conversation like always. Like, where do you see yourself in the conversation of FPO talent right now? Like, if I ask, this is a mean question, but if I ask you to rank yourself, like, how would you do it according to the talent that's there right now?
I think it's funny. I think I saw a comment somewhere recently that was like that said something like a lot of people seem to be sleeping on Missy, even though she seems to be having one of the most consistent seasons of her career, which is true. As far as the consistency of my career, I think a lot of people that are involved in like those fantasy drafts and stuff like that, they might be more aware of that fact. And I think that I am a really safe pick when it comes to like draft style, picks. But yeah, I mean, I think before this weekend, I had said to somebody that I feel like I'm the most consistent player on tour without a win. And I don't think that's very far off from the truth. Obviously, Kristen's very consistent. Even Owen Scoggins, who did end up taking some time off of the Disc Golf Pro Tour just the last few weeks to do some Masters events and stuff like that. She's also very consistent. But I think that for just the people like me who have played all of the Elite Series events, pretty much all of them, or Disc Golf Pro Tour events, I can confidently say that I'm the now I am the second ranked person on the Disc Golf Pro Tour, and I think that just speaks to my consistency so far this year.
Well, Matt, you'll want to hear this. So let me hop in with a few stats. So first off, your average rating on the year is the best of your career. You're averaging a 973.5. That's including Ledgestone. Last year was your second best at 968. So up 5 points there to be your best yet again. Your average place is under sixth place. That's the best of your career. You picked up a win. You're still behind 2021, where you had 2 wins, including the Tour Championship. But that's a great season, of course. But podium percentage is the highest of your career at 43%. Your top 10 percentage is the highest of your career at 86%. So I do think the numbers back that up, that you've been improving, and it's a great season.
Absolutely. So your putting, when the chat talks about it, I mean, when your putting is on, which seems like most of the time, it's incredible to watch. And people talk about own a lot, but your putting is fantastic. When your putting is on, is it easy? And when it's off, what's happening? Like, why? That's an interesting question. Maybe, I don't know. Give us an answer.
Yeah, I think that an off day on the putting green for me is like not getting multiple big circle 2 putts. I'm pretty consistent inside the circle. Yeah, I've had a few that a few rounds that maybe were like 65% or something like that, and that's to me a very terrible putting round. But for the most part, I feel like I'm usually within like the 85 to or above range on the for the most part. I think it's like the times where I feel like I'm so close on like those bigger circle two makes, and I'm not capitalizing on those. I feel like those are the ones that kind of separate the top putters, like Owen, like myself, like Kristen, from the rest of the field, is being able to capitalize on those 38 to 45 to even those 60 footers. We're no strangers to those, but I don't try to think about putting too much. I think that if you dive too deep into a bad putting day, you just it could throw you off more than you already felt like you were off that day, and sometimes it's just not your day. So yeah, I try not to harp on it too much. Why are you laughing?
I am laughing because of our love for intern Ben. And what you're saying, I'm like, I hope he's listening right now, wherever he's camping, because he is the first to like text us after a missed putt in a tournament. He'll text us. He'll be like, well, and I'm like, oh no, you're in your head so much, dude. Like, it's not going to get better. So when you say
we'll get like 3 paragraphs.
Wonderful coaching. Coaching.
Cool.
Definitely need to take that one.
So something about this event as well, Ledgestone, is you are a Ledgestone sponsored and Discraft sponsored player.
Mm-hmm.
Now, having sponsorships throughout the touring year, does this kind of feel like more at home for you? This is where Ledgestone is based out of. Do you feel this extra kind of camaraderie with all the Discraft people are there? It's a very, very huge disc golf event. Do you feel just a little bit more at home with an event like this than you do other events?
Yeah, I assume so. It might be slightly, maybe subconsciously, but because I mean, there's a lot of we have a lot of obligations too for those types of events. I had a lot of media things that I had to do, some signings, and so that could add some stress. But for me, it's really cool to be able to have those interactions with fans, and ultimately, they're supporting me and they're buying these special releases that are coming out, and so it probably does give me like a boost of endorphins and excitement to be able to show up and perform well in front of the crowd is treating me so well. And so I bet there is some form of like excitement and camaraderie. Bob and Mike from Discraft were there, and obviously Nate Heinold and the whole Ledgestone crew, really making us feel feel like rock stars, and that always feels good going into an event. And yeah, that's likely what happened there.
Okay, what do you think about the topic of conversation? Now, this could be sensitive because you're on Team Ledgestone and all this other thing, but the competition at Eureka Temp, I think the difficulty level. You guys don't play Eureka Temp, do you? Dang it! Why am I going down that road? We asked Cole this question. Let's ask your perspective anyways. Park course. Sunset is a golf course. I got to play there earlier this year, and I loved it. I watched you guys shred it. I'm like, I didn't even come close. But I thought the course venue was really cool. It's private, but it's a golf course, but it's great. Eureka, people talk about playing over fences and all that kind of stuff. So you're not a competitor there at that event, although I'm sure you've seen it and they've done parties there. Does it feel like a great venue for disc golf at this level of competition, or do you feel like it doesn't seem right? You were there on the ground with it. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like with the exception of like the baseball field hole, like the rest of the course is pretty cool. Like I think that there are some shots. I've never played the course. I have been there and I've seen the holes, and like you said, but I think about holes like hole 2, and that seems like a really challenging hole. Again, I don't know. I haven't played it, but it's a extreme dog leg right along the water with OB all along the left and the right side, and and then right after that you go to hole 3, and it's pretty much a tunnel. I know some people sometimes throw maybe a forehand hyzer, I think, but yeah, I think that the baseball field hole kind of just stands out so much that it feels like that's the course, but it's not really. And I mean, yeah, the bridge hole is also kind of unique and weird too, but that's only 2 out of 18 holes, and I think that unless I'm missing others that I can't really think of, I feel like those are the only
The
two that
water
are kinda,
tower
like,
hole is
out.
really unique.
Yeah,
Yep.
it totally is, and I mean, yeah, again, yeah.
But what's your
At the end of the
perspective?
day,
So
yeah.
like, just steering it a little bit differently, like, we're going to talk about this after you're gone too, but like, what's the perspective of pro disc golf in that? Do you feel like, and I'm not looking for you to defend or anything else, this is your feeling, like where pro disc golf is at, can that work? Like having it, like people see it, like it's, I think it's dressed up, but like, what do you think it works? Like to see that?
You know, I assume, and we talk about this with Sunset too, honestly. Even though it's a golf course and it's a little different. It seems like both those courses and Eureka are like shreddable, and you can score really low. And there's some like those kind of weird, odd features in a park like that. But yeah, I mean, I think it's hard to say. I mean, we're growing so fast that it's like venues are just going to kind of they're going to get critiqued harder and harder as we continue to grow and continue to see people like Cole, like the young guys that are coming up and just being able to shred every single course. And aesthetically, yeah, I don't think that some of those holes really look great, but it's not the only course on tour that people don't seem to have problems with, so in that similar like context. So yeah, I don't know, I guess at the end of the day I don't really care.
There you go. That was her answer. She doesn't really care at the end of the day. One, she's not playing that course. Two, she makes money on any course that she plays, just about. I think your consistency does that.
Yeah.
So it's a good day to walk off a course and make some money.
Yeah.
So what's next? This is an Elite Plus. It's a major. I mean, did we?
It's not a major.
No,
It's
I'm
an
talking
Elite
about
Plus.
like what's next. Like, is it a major? As in, like, is that where we're going?
Excuse
for
me.
Here? Is
Yeah,
our-
sorry.
Where I'm going,
because I know
yeah.
we talked about throw pink, and you were like, it feels like it, but like,
Mhm.
if you were checking off boxes, is that what's next for you? You're like, I need one of those now.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, I think that it's like somebody it had been mentioned that like the courses this past week kind of are reminiscent of the Green Mountain courses
Mhm.
in little ways here and there. So I feel like I have yet to play the Green Mountain courses to the best of my ability, and I took 4th last year, so that's kind of saying something. That I think that I can shoot really well out there, and I just haven't done it yet. So maybe this will be the year.
Maybe this will be the one.
Maybe. We'll have to do our picks later for a couple more of these events, and we'll let you know how we do.
Yeah.
So, man, every time you're on the show, I bring it up. I followed you since way back on a ferry
Mhm.
trip over to Nantucket. I bring it up about every time. You come out of Albany. You've played New England Team Challenge for some of the events, so you know what that
Mhm.
is. So it feels like, wow, you're local in some senses to us.
Mhm.
But now you're at a full-blown career of disc golf. Is this your future till you retire? Have you thought about that?
A little bit. I mean, I'm 34 years old, which I feel good. I feel young. I haven't had any injuries, thank goodness. And I'm taking good care of myself, and I think that I could be doing this for a long time. I think that there could be a point where I take a little bit of a break, and hopefully I'll be able to pick it back up. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's given me a lot of really great opportunities, and um, you know, it's something that I love to do, and I'm finding a really good rhythm right now, and so I don't want to quite think about retirement just yet, and I don't think that And I mean, I think about the people that are still competing, like the Owen Scoggins of the world, and even Katrina Allen. She's older than me, and it's still doing really well out there. So I think that this is a sport. This is why we love the sport too. You can play it for a long time, and the difference is if you can play it at a high level for a long time. But I think that we see Juliana Korver coming back and doing great. So yeah, it inspires me to be able to do this for a long time.
But I guess the shorter
Awesome.
question I could have asked is, you don't have other plans?
Not right now.
Okay.
No.
Cool.
Good for you.
Thanks.
When's your contract up with Discraft?
This year.
Oh, baby,
Oh.
win a few more.
How let's talk about that for a second. This is what people would say is a contract year.
Yeah.
This is where, you kind of lay it all out at the end of the season and say, hey, I'd like to re-up with you guys, but for more money, or if you don't have the stellar season that you want to have, how does that feel mentally where, let's say you're at X amount of dollars for your contract and you're pushing for more? How do you feel like that is? Does that weigh a toll on you throughout the year?
It had in the past. I think it was more difficult for me to advocate for myself. Thankfully I did have some help from Schaefer Sports Management for my most recent contract that was a 2-year contract, and it's up, like I said, at the end of this year. And so I think that helped at least like boost my confidence. And just over the last 2 years, I've really developed a great relationship with management at Discraft, with Bob, with Mike. I am the co-captain of the team for reasons that we've discussed in great detail, and why I was chosen to be the co-captain with Paul Ulibarri. It's certainly not like a retirement plan or something. Like I think that they saw that I'm a very driven person, and I want to lead by example. That's always been the way that I do things. I'm not like a big talker. Like I don't talk myself up, or I'm not like one of those showboating type people. I just show you what's possible and try to be the best role model that I can be, just through my actions. And so yeah, I think that having built those stronger relationships over the last 2 years is going to make this coming contract negotiation much easier and much more comfortable. And yeah, that's my hope, and that's how I feel going into it.
No, that makes sense.
Absolutely. We always hope for a nice contract re-up for everybody. And that was, who was the last? Corey Ellis, I think, maybe. Yeah, his contract year, I think, as well.
I think he's on a 2-year right now.
All right.
So next year.
Well, winning a major is good for the resume. And
speaking of winning an Elite Plus event, commemorative disc from Discraft, anything in the works? Have you talked with Bob about that yet?
We haven't gone into too much detail just yet. Thankfully, with the way I've been playing, we have done a lot of recent releases, and basically just because of the fact that I've played so consistently and that I am the co-captain, and they've just been awesome with giving me those special discs and having those releases, even when I'm not winning. So that's been really cool. I do foresee something, but it's so new that we haven't talked about it yet. But yeah, hopefully we'll see.
All right.
Absolutely. What's the best way for people to support you out there? Is it by coming up and buying something from you at the course? Is it going online? Is it sending messages of support? Like, what do you like to see?
Yeah, I think that if you want to buy something, if you can, you can always go to teamdiscraft.com, and we every elite team member has their own personal website with some really cool gear, and discs and sweatshirts and t-shirts and a lot of really cool things to support all of us. So yeah, teamdiscraft.com would be a great resource for that. Ledgestone.com, they have a bunch of more recent releases from Ledgestone. And yeah, I'm always open to some encouraging messages. I'll take all the positivity I can get.
All right.
I have one question, and I don't mean to put you on the spot, and you can say I'm not answering. That's fine. The United Series was announced. This was the first event with it. Did you hear anything about it while you were there?
Not explicitly.
Okay.
It did I kind of forgot that was like a new thing. Also, I was just so focused on the task that it didn't even cross my mind.
Yeah.
But what I knew was that like the points were still going to be the same, and now I'm leading the United Series in points, so there you go.
Exactly. There's a bonus. There's a bonus getting paid out at Maple Hill. That'll be nice for whoever wins that.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah, it didn't really come up. That's funny. The only time I remembered seeing it was like when I was watching, the MPO coverage, and they were announcing the schedule for the next day broadcast, and it had the little U, emblem, and I was like, oh yeah, that's what this is, and yeah, I am just so happy that I was able to come back to these courses and act and legitimately defend my title on the courses that I won on in the previous year. So that at the end of the day, that was what I was most excited about.
And you did it. And yeah, the reason I asked the question is because even from a media perspective, like I didn't hear almost anything crickets about it, and just curious if on the ground it was different. But thank you for your perspective on that.
No problem.
All right. Unless there's something we missed, I don't know what you've got going on, but you must be exhausted after you did practice rounds, including the 4 rounds. It was probably 6 straight days of disc golf at least.
Yeah. Actually, that's pretty much exactly it. I tried not to. Like, I'm sure there were people who played way more than that. That means I played 1 practice round at each course. But like I said before, I was trying to rely on my previous knowledge and experience on both courses. Nothing had changed, which was really nice. At least nothing's significant enough that I could even tell you that there was a difference. So, I tried to conserve my energy as much as I could and just refamiliarize myself with the courses, and it ended up working out in the end. So
did I see, was it Tom or you, somebody had a big fan, like a fan, was that hooked to your cart? Was that your fan?
Yeah. That was our fan. Yep.
Is that, did I see somebody else with that? I feel like it's kind of the thing. It's not battery powered, so it doesn't make noise, but it probably does a good job at cooling. It's for cooling, I'm assuming. It's just a way to stay cool.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, it's fantastic. I think the other person, fantastic. I think the other person that had one might have been Brittany Dickerson. At least I saw coverage
that's who
when she was with Chris. Yeah, she had kind of one of those, semicircle ones. Mine was actually, I picked it up in Uganda when we were there with the Paul Macbeth Foundation, and it's like the best purchase I had ever purchased. It's so good.
You can use it like
awesome.
to cool your hands if they're sweating too. Like I'm imagining like the way James uses the putter to like dry his hand. Like you can use it.
and there's so many times like it's fabric. Oh. So there's so many times when you're using your disc and you just smash your face with your disc by accident. I've done that. I know other people have done it, and if you are saying you haven't, you're lying. So it's nice. See, that doesn't happen with that.
There you go.
That's funny. I like that. That's awesome. So you've had a lot going on. You're traveling out to where next? Idlewild, or are you taking a break, going somewhere else? Like, what are you doing?
No, yeah, we're actually already here in Idlewild. We arrived today. I took today off just to settle in and get camp set up and everything, and start getting to it, right away. This is also a track that I really love playing, and I've again have found pretty good success on it the last couple of years. So this is another one that I would love to win, just because I enjoy playing these difficult wooded, hilly courses that tend to also have some wind involved. So yeah, I'm excited to be back here.
Okay.
Nice.
Last question, because the chat is demanding it. No, there's a
Uh-oh.
shout out to Frank. He says, "What disc do you lean on?" But I want to change that a little bit to like, what is your favorite disc of all time? Is it still in your bag?
So specifically,
Yeah,
my
because I
favorite
mean,
disc?
maybe you threw it in the pond. You know, like, do you still have it? Your favorite disc of all time?
I do. Funny enough, my previous favorite disc of all time, which turned into a little bit too flippy and more of a situational disc or like super uphill shots, was a really beat-in ESP Thrasher that I had when I like first joined the team, and it was in my first allotment. Just recently lost that like 2 or 3 weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago when we got back from Europe. I played a casual round. That's okay. That's okay. I thought that I was more sad. I think it was more of a pride thing because I knew I had that disc for so long, and so to have lost it, it wasn't like a detriment to my like entire game, but it was just more of a sadness. I had named her OG because she was one of the originals, but also she started off orange and kind of got super faded, but it was like more of a creamsicle color now. So like OG orange, yeah.
Wow.
So you do build those attachments to some of your discs, but right now it's also an ESP Thrasher. It's a Thrasher. I mean, it's always going to be a Thrasher. For anybody that doesn't know me, it's always a Thrasher. But it's one that I threw on so many holes this past weekend. I will continue to throw on a lot of holes this weekend and the rest of the weeks coming up. Unless I lose it, that one would be a bad day if I lose that one.
Well, thank you for that answer, Evan. Did we miss anything you want to share, or Nick, before we let her go?
Last thing I got is, what is your thoughts on the nickname Big Money Missy?
I love it as long as I can continue to back it up.
There you go.
Let's
which
go.
I think that I did.
Big money.
Just did.
Big money.
Yeah.
You want to know something funny? Your average winnings at Elite and Major wins actually went down due to this win, even though you won a big event. Just because it was so high. Which actually, I have one more question, and I don't want to put you on the spot here, but you won the same event back to back. Ledgestone's known for having a really high purse. The purse went up this year, but the FPO winners payout went down by $1,000 because they spread out the payment throughout the rest of the field. Now, I know you're not always winning, but you are finishing up top. But what are your thoughts on higher payments to everyone finishing cash and a little bit lower to the winner? Do you think it's a good play? Would you rather the winner make more money? Let's hear it.
I think specifically for the FPO division, I'm happier to like spread more of the love. I think that that's going to encourage more women to come out and play and maybe join the tour in the future. So yeah, I'm not a greedy person. I'm a spread the love kind of person.
Yeah, for the people.
Yeah.
She could have been like, I'm actually upset. That was money in my pocket that was taken. Thank you guys. Have a good night. Very gracious, Missy. That's awesome of you thinking about the sport in that way. You'll keep the nickname for now. We'll watch and see how things go, but big money, Missy. All right, guys. Good? All right.
We're good.
We're good.
Thank you so much, Missy. We very much appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me.
Have a good evening. Peace out.
Bye.
Well, guys, I butchered my way through this episode so far. The chat's calling for my head, and they say, where's intern Ben? And you know what? Sometimes it takes you leaving, for people to realize how valuable you are. So, intern Ben, we do miss you. I hope you're enjoying it.
Some sort of saying with
it's
that.
It's all going to get to his head, though.
Yeah, this guy's going to throw Macbeth on too early. I'm going to ask not to go on full screen. He's going to put me on full screen. He's
and leave it up while I'm talking. Yeah, I know. So now we can pick on everybody. I don't want to say it's a thankless job, but like I've got maybe 40 buttons in front of me and calls and audio, and I messed it up. Unmute this, mute that. I did have one win tonight, and nobody cares about the tech right now. But I'm so happy I got to text Ben after this. I figured out, I think, how to get rid of that slow motion talk, and we've had that for a long time. Cool. I figured it out.
No, it was annoying. Thanks for fixing it.
It was very annoying.
Hey, speaking of bum ankles, am I getting it right? Was it Parker Welk?
Oh, no.
That had to get so nasty. He posted pictures of it.
Yeah.
His second round at Northwood Black went forehand only because he couldn't put, I think it was his right ankle, didn't want to put the pressure and twist a backhand on it. So he went forehand only every single shot, I'm guessing besides putts. Still makes the cut. He gets to play on Sunday, and I'm guessing he still play. I don't know if he went forehand only at Eureka 2 or if he had a DNF. I don't know what happened.
Goodness, dedication.
Just based on the post. That's wild and nuts to hear. But I want to give a quick shout out to statmando.com for this one. We just released an update for the Disc Golf Pro Tour standings that we host on our site. You can now see who's currently in a qualifying spot for the Disc Golf Pro Tour. And I bring up Parker Welk because he has earned his ticket to the Disc Golf Pro Tour Championship due to his win at DDO. So even though he's not in the top 32 for MPO in the standings, as it sits now, he of course could earn his way back in. He still gets that invite. So you only have the top 31 otherwise get in. So now you can, visibly see that, see who's at the cut line, see who's in as it stands right now, and who has an automatic bid. So I think that's a pretty neat addition.
Yeah.
People want to see it. Also, we did add the United Series as well. So although it's a little bit boring because it's just the Ledgestone standings after one round or one event, and the next event is Idlewild, which goes back to the I don't know what kind of the rules where it was set up over the off season. So Natalie Ryan and any other transgender women will not be playing at that event unless other news comes up.
I was just going to say, I don't know if there's a backroom agreement or deal that's happened where they said, now you don't bring us to court in this event for at least this year. I don't know, but I would expect that we're not going to see that happen. But who knows? You never know.
Yeah, we'll see. So that'll get updated after D-Glow, which is the next United Series event. So if you do want to keep track of that, the top 3 get payouts, kind of a cool little side standings. I always like more standings. I think it's fun. I think we need to have more of these, have little cups. Like in soccer, they do little cups, or who finishes the best out of this grouping, have kind of a special tour, tournament sponsored by Discraft or tournament sponsored by MVP, who was the best in those. That's a little bit of a tangent, but moving on.
Dude, before we get into our next segment, which is going to be the pop off picks and the regular picks for the winner, I literally had excavators and brush, mini skid steers all going around my property getting ready for this event in September. So for those fans who were picked to participate, for all the friends around the area here who are going to participate, this will be a first year edition. I'm trying to make this special. I'm getting excited about it, and it's still, I guess because it's my property, it's still 6 weeks away or whatever, 5 weeks away. But it should be awesome.
You didn't give an invite to Missy. I'd rather her there than Cole.
I know.
I had to throw that big out. That's a joke.
With Cole, I felt like I could put him on the spot. I don't know why. With Missy, I was like, I'm going to say, hey, Missy and Tom, what are you doing? Then I'm going through. I did this in my head real quick. I'm like, well, she lived in the area of Albany, so she's probably just going from Vermont there. So I'll send her an invite and Tom, but I didn't want to do it on the show like I did to Cole. There's a difference.
Yeah, I like the pressure, but it's probably smarter that way.
Will you come? Yes or no?
A little bit more polite.
Yeah.
Yeah, professional.
Okay, so let's get into it, and I'm gonna give us a little intro music here. We're gonna do our picks for this week coming. Is it this week? It's not even a week off.
It sure is.
Idlewild.
Friday.
So
Back.
we're gonna do our picks to win as well as our pop-off picks. So starting in the MPO, I cannot bring myself to pick Calvin as much as I think this is a Calvin win. I'm getting it on record. If it happens, I'll say I'm sorry. I just couldn't pick him right now as much as I think he could win this. I'm going to start. Whoever's ready. I have some ideas, but I've just been talking a lot. So Evan, you might kick us off.
Well, I want some insider knowledge here. Nick, how is Paul Macbeth's shoulders? How is his shoulder doing?
I'm pretty sure he's not playing this event. I know he signed up for it, but I'm pretty sure he's not playing it.
Well, he wouldn't have been my pick anyways because he hasn't done the best here lately. I just, I'm sorry. I did want to know, but I wasn't.
Yeah, no, I actually haven't talked to him for a little while, but I do know that more than likely he's not playing this event.
Yeah, of course, not a dig. I'll wait until Worlds and then very heavily consider it and might pick him. I already got my pick.
Go ahead. Are you starting with MPO?
Yeah, starting with the MPO, I'm going Chris Dickerson. Somebody picked him last week,
Bro,
and
that's
I
what I'm
laughed at it.
picking.
No,
I can't
And he
even
gets a top
believe
10.
that.
And he finished the second last year. Was looking great. Just Isaac Robinson was better. Idlewild also has it had a unique winner every year. that it's
Eagle
been
won
on
it 2
tour?
years, I think.
Did Paul win it twice? Shoot,
Paul won it in 2018.
I'm picking Dickerson. You guys go around. I'm gonna pull up the previous winners. So give me a second.
Okay. Let me just put a few other interesting ones out there. Chat, who do you think is going to win? I already said it could be Calvin. It could be James Conrad. And then I would go down the list and say Chris Dickerson is my pick, but it could be Joel Freeman or James Proctor, man. He is destined. Like, we've been trying to line him up, but he's been busy with Europe and all that. We've been trying to get him on before he wins, but once he wins and we have him on, we'll say, dude, we've been trying. And we had him on a few years ago, but... So those are the like options. There's other options, but I'm going to go with Chris Dickerson. What do you got, Nick?
On the MPO side, I picked Simon last week, and I honestly thought he was going to do it. I thought he was playing
with
extremely
Hamas.
well. What's that?
Go with Hamas.
Hamas isn't a bad choice, but
No.
not going to lie, I'm kind of feeling Ricky for this event.
Oh, baby.
Okay,
Kind of
so
feeling Ricky for this one.
I have the winners here. There has been no repeat winners in
I didn't
MPO.
think so.
Oh,
We
wow.
got starting in 2017. That was the first year as a Disc Golf Pro Tour event and going through. James Conrad, Paul Macbeth, Kevin Jones, Eagle McMahon, Kyle Klein, Isaac Robinson. That's a fantastic list. First of all, in my head, I was like, it kind of has some, not saying fluky, not like what people say about Waco. Neither of those are true. But has some variety to it. And I mean, it does have variety, but variety of good players.
Dude.
So Chris Dickerson's a good player, though.
Guess what I shot on the Pro Tour layout at Idlewild a few weeks ago or a month ago?
16 over.
Nick?
8 over.
6 over.
Ooh.
I'm not disappointed. And I felt like I had some mistakes in there too, which everybody does.
Yeah, that's
Literally
not
the
last
Pro Tour
place.
layout. It was
Hold on,
awesome.
I have last year's up right here.
Tell me what that
6
would be
over,
rated.
so you would be 18 over. You would have finished in 4th to last place of players who finished the event. You would have tied. No, lost to Tristan Tanner. You would have beat Scott Stokely, who finished 19 over last year. Look
It
at
would
that.
not have
Of
been
course,
last.
Yeah, it didn't happen. Let me get you a rating real
What would a
quick.
+6 have been rated during a round?
So that's a 75. Let me find someone with a 75.
973 or 975.
Well, then I would have
Yeah, I
been
got a
happy. I would have
971.
been happy with that. So
Yeah.
I am happy.
Excuse me,
with it.
971.
Never mind. I'm not happy. No.
I figured you were looking at a different round. Oh, yeah, in
So-
round 3
No,
is a 957.
I confused my 1 and my 5 because I was looking at 71 and
Nobody cares how I
75 and-
played. I forgot to list a few other names. I apologize, Simon, Ezra, but I think add possibly. I'm lots of names: Bradley Williams, Corey Ellis. I mean, Alden
Corey
Harris,
Ellis,
Isaac
who
Robinson. It's going to be
did
one of these guys.
DNF at Ledgestone.
Yes, but he said he's going to be
Yeah.
back. He said
Okay.
he's going to be back. I forget exactly. What did he say? It was he had tingling in his hand. He talked to Seth Muncie, and they think it was due to overuse. Maybe like all they did in Europe. Then he came straight and he started practicing for Ledgestone, and they think
Yeah.
that's what it was. So he thinks he'll be ready. That's if I'm correct.
Excuse me.
So that's a Kyle Klein. Like again, it's going to be one of these players, but
Great pick.
yeah, I know, and that's who I think. Maybe I'll change it, but
So you guys both got Dickerson?
dang it, I'm gonna
Yeah.
change it, officially change it. And when it's Chris
Yes.
Dickerson, I'm gonna be so like throwing tables. I picked Chris and I changed it, but Kyle Klein, that would be a big
Nice.
one and cool one.
I don't know if this is like his official analysis, but I remember at some point, Andrew Fish analyzing this course calls it a spinny woods course, which I've always found interesting. Like when you think of, I think it was specifically with power or with forehands. You want a power forehand more than some flip up technical forehand. Because the way the landing zones were built, it's an older course. It kind of was meant to challenge when they would do big backhand hyzer flips because a forehand gets even more right, things like that. And so it was a pick who has a really good forehand, which once I heard the Wysocki pick, that stuck with me. I'm like, ooh, that sounds good.
Yeah.
But Dickerson, has a solid forehand,
solid forehand,
but not really a top tier one. But he was playing so good last year, and if there was clearly if someone was going to catch Isaac, he came in second, it would have been Chris Dickerson. So I'm sticking with my pick. I'm happy with it. I'll hop over to FPO. I'm gonna pick the person who started off with a hot round here last year, looking for that first win. You might
swear
not.
to God, if you say own,
Nope.
Okay.
You might not think Wooded Course, but that's what happened earlier this year. I'm picking Ella Hansen to get her first.
You and me
win.
again, bro.
Let's go, Matt. Let's hold hands and make picks together.
Yeah, tonight we're just picking the same, and I'm gonna have to change again. I don't have
pick
to.
With me.
Yeah, I was gonna say if I actually think it's true, I should stick with it.
Yeah. I'm going own. So before you pick own, I'm going own.
I'm going Katrina Allen.
I think own gets her
first. You just
first
want repeat winners, Matt. You're picking the back-to-back winner.
Kyle Klein and Katrina
winner.
Yep.
Yeah,
okay,
not bad picks. Just
no,
they're
not. But you don't get points here for getting second place. We don't.
Yeah, that's more boring than picking the same pick as me.
Sheesh.
So right. I'm sorry. I'm saying it how it is though.
Pop off.
I got my pop off picks.
Going
Do you want
MPO.
me to go first?
Yeah.
Or am I going to steal your pick more?
No. How about we don't? Yeah. How about we don't do that? And if I steal your pick, then we really should hold hands. Here we go.
Hold on.
Ready? Evan Scott.
Nice.
Okay. Good.
That's not who I was going to pick. I kind of almost want to steal Nick's pick of Austin Hannum. So that's a.
Can we do back-to-back same picks though? Is that fair? It doesn't matter? Can I be like, hey, I'm picking the same player?
I don't think it's the worst idea.
Okay.
I mean, it's who you think is going to pop off.
All right, you can do back-to-back.
No, I don't know. I'm sticking with the forehand logic, and maybe it'll hurt me, but I want to go Big Germ. His average finish isn't the best this year, and he finished pretty solid here last year. So I think it lines up.
Are you taking notes on our
go
picks
back-to-back Casey White?
No, you guys got to tell me after because I'm going to forget. I got to look up the PDGA numbers and all that stuff too. So
Casey White, Nick?
No. I was saying for Evan, I'm surprised he didn't pick him.
No, I mean,
just
twice or it's luck, right?
Popped off at Ledgestone.
Yeah.
Here, I got one. I'm going to go with the local boy, Zach Arlinghouse.
Ooh.
Kentucky native, has played this event before, and I'm pretty sure has been up towards lead card at this event before.
I think he had lead card.
Yeah, I think he had lead card.
Which, by the way, jumping back to our interview with Missy Gannon, she was confident, but not 100% confident. Her first lead card on tour was at Ledgestone in 2018. That is true. It was her first lead card.
Nice.
Just looked it up as she was saying it and didn't have a time to jump back in, but it was true.
Can we Steve Falco this one too? Can I Steve Falco this one?
And just go someone super low on the total.
No, you ready? Well, this is I don't know. Brody Smith. I'm changing my pop off.
Wait, how is that Steve Falco? That's
I'm changing it. I'm just changing my pick.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. We just made up that rule anyways. Brody
Go
Smith.
Brody. If he can keep it together for full tournament,
that's the problem. But if he does, it's a pop off.
Praise because he was looking really good at Ledgestone and then couldn't hold on.
If he can do the full tournament, it would be a pop off for him because his average finish is not good.
No.
Look, you have to put it in your little calculator because
I gotta look. Yeah. But my thought is I was kind of in the boat for a while that I don't know if Brody will ever consistently get top 10s, be a consistent top 10 player. Not that he couldn't. I mean, he did it at DDO last year, and I think a few others, maybe Des Moines this year or something. But when he was leading Ledgestone, I'm like, man, he's putting things together. I might not be surprised if he wins the way this season's going with all these players winning. I see it happening. I think there's a world that Brody Smith gets an elite win.
A multiverse.
So there's there's 100% a multiverse. There is one, just based on the chances.
Imagine if you did your pop off and your pick, for the win, the same person. That's worth a lot of points too, because they probably don't have a good average finish, and then they win. You just destroyed the field.
Well, okay, I'll tell you guys a little cheat code here. I did run the average place with last year's Idlewild to get some ideas.
There's no cheating here.
You friggin' cheater.
So,
no cheating.
Isaac Robin. Well, I'm doing research.
No, I'm saying this is not cheating. That's my point. Is this is not cheating. It's fair.
You can do it too.
Yes.
The data's out there. You just got to do it manually and not calculate all 1,000
not calculate
players
it
at the same time. Yeah, but Isaac Robinson won last year. He would have gotten you 18 points if you took this year's average finish, which is
Pop
19.
off and points.
So like 18 points, that's pretty good. That would have been well, it would have been the third best MPO pick, but it would have been the best like FPO pick, which is gonna be a little slimmer because it's a smaller field. But
okay, so to be clear, I changed my pick from so I'm Kyle Klein to win. I'm Brody for the pop off. FPO, I changed my pick to Katrina from I'm just trying to get this out loud here so I can remember. And now we're doing the pop off for FPO. And that's why I asked if I could go back to back here, because I am going with Holly Finley again.
Yeah, she loves the woods.
Yep.
Good pick. I'm going to go with Madison Walker. I'm not expecting her to push for the win. That would be cool if she does.
What's her average?
Hope all the best. But her average, I had it somewhere.
She just has to place better than, and I don't want to say a number and sound mean, but she's just got to place better than what she's been doing, and you'll get points. So
yeah, that's all it is. Her average in the year is 25th. So I think she can do better than a 25th and can hopefully not lose points, because I would have won if I just didn't get negatives on FPO this past pick.
Yeah, maybe you can print us a stat sheet before each of these. Here's the stat sheet, and we can make our picks. Nick, who are you picking? Pop off or FPO? Yeah, there's a few options here. I mean, there's a lot, but you got to figure out and play your game of who you think.
I think if I'm looking at DGPT events, Macy Veladiaz is in the mid 10s to 20s, so. And I think she's going to pop off and give me a solid 12 points. So I'm going to go with Macy Veladiaz is going to be the pop-off player in FPO.
Okay. All right.
I actually like her to also win this event.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
points
who
and
I have.
Points.
Yeah.
Dang. All right. Well,
That's
intern Ben, if you were listening, you would have already wrote in the chat, I think. So.
Yeah, intern Ben's going to give us his picks like halfway through the first round. Like, oh no, these were picks.
I chatted them Monday night.
Yeah.
Matteo, Gannon Burr, Big Money Missy, Cat Merch. It's one of those. We love you, dude.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Ben would have picked Ella with me. I feel like Ben's okay. We rag on Ben. Ben still has a good eye for these things. He's been probably wrong more than he's been right, just because picks are hard and that's the nature of the game. But he's probably been right as much as any of us.
Yeah,
I agree.
And he'll let us know that he's right just as much as any of us. He's a good dude.
But he'll play dumb, be that like I don't even know, stereotypical Ben.
Just missed him tonight. Oh, There's the music for me today. My day's gone this way, and then my feet went from underneath me. We've pretty much made it to the end of the show. I don't think we really missed anything. There was one other addition we could do to picks, but we don't have to add it tonight. We can kind of mull over it and think about it. But it's probably more in hindsight. It's more in hindsight. So like you look at the list of people, how they played. So it's like you see how Ledgestone finished, and then we come to the show with knowing that information with our most impressive finish. So it almost seems like you could go with like who was higher than their regular average. It almost sounds that way. But if you look at, I want to pull it up. For instance, for me, it would have been Ezra Robinson, I think. That would have been my most impressive finish at Ledgestone. We can't pick the winner.
We're giving an award.
Yes, exactly. It's in hindsight.
I like that.
But you can't.
That's fun.
Yeah, I thank you. I actually felt like I was thinking today what else we could do, and I feel like you would say, well, obviously it's Cole, but I want to say besides the winner. Like the winner, obviously that's impressive, and he could deserve it, and he gets the award. But like most impressive, so it could be somebody that's at 10th place. If they're so again, it goes back to kind of that average finish deal, like how high did they go? But like. You pick based off of how you feel your award for the most impressive finish. Like, look at what this person did.
I like that. Do you want to start it for this week, or are we doing it next week?
We could do it. Actually, let's do a dry run on it here and look at the results from Ledgestone and just pick your your most impressive finish on here.
Yeah, is Ezra Robinson your MPO pick? Like, or is that just
no?
a
That I
name
think
you're
that
thinking
is.
of?
I think that is. I'll just keep it as that.
I think that's great. When you first said it, I'm like, oh, that's got to be it. But now I think about it more, I'm like, no, it's Casey White at 7. I mean, not just because he was my pop pick, but
it's also a badass finish.
Yeah,
him, from one of our boys.
Yeah, from Mass Local, who he's been grinding on tour. It's not like hasn't had any good finishes, but he hasn't had a lot of good finishes this year. It's been probably a little bit of a down year for him. To get this big finish, get on lead card, get on Jomez, all the works of this weekend to like show off your skills. Ezra, he's up and coming. He hasn't done it a ton as much as like Heimberg and Wysocki and even Cole. But he's shown his time good enough. I'm going Casey. Sorry to drag that on too long.
A lot of the chat is saying Casey.
Good.
A lot of the chat is saying Casey. There's a Marweed in there. I still
just
Marweed as well.
Just for sake of conversation, I'm going to push this actually just a little bit outside of the top 10 because I think Casey is, Casey,
be a 40th place if you think that's the most impressive. Like
I think Casey
40th,
and Ezra
I'd probably win the most impressive finish.
Yeah, like I think Casey and Ezra are wonderful picks, but to be honest, I'm gonna tip my cap on this one to Kevin Jones. Has only had 6 tournaments this year, kind of on the big stage where he's done well at. The rest of them have been lackluster. So to pop off an 11th place finish at this event, I think is really good, especially coming into this next stretch and then also the World Championships coming up. This is a time where players need to get confident and they need to really hone in all their skill sets coming up to the World Championships at an event that Kevin Jones has been successful up at GMC. So I tip my cap to Kevin Jones on this one.
He capped his tournament round, the last round, with bogeys, and I hate to say it, but if he just parred those, he would have had like third best round of the round. So anyways, good job to him. That's an interesting pick. I'm glad you did that. Let's FPO. For me, again, it doesn't always have to be in the top 3, 4, 5, whatever. I mean, you could go down the list as far as you want and say, hey, I think that's most impressive. I said that a few times. I'm going to go Sarah Hokum. I am most impressed. I know that, woods and that kind of thing, her lines with forehand, it suits her, but I'm impressed. She got a 3rd place at an Elite Plus. She's been around a long time, but that's my pick for most impressed.
Yes, likewise here. She was my pick as well. This one I didn't know who you were picking and had it in my head.
It's all right.
I said it at the top of the show. It's her first podium at an Elite or major FPO event since Champions Cup of 2022. It's been a while. I think she's had some up and down, so it's really awesome to see her get a podium again at a course that I think really suits her.
I think a lot of the players that did well this event, you kind of almost expect them to do well. So I'll jump on the bandwagon and go with Sarah Hokum as well in that category. I think it was a great event, especially I think with everything going on in the FPO division, the United Series, everything like that. Sarah is very outspoken on her beliefs for everything. And so I think now that the FPO division has kind of gone back to normal, which maybe isn't something that Sarah wants. I should say it isn't something that Sarah had wanted. It's reverting back to what it was before. For her to be able to push through podium finish, I think that's great.
Well, there you go. So I mean, eventually the show is just all of our picks. Well, maybe we just do like a pick show. Like we do a talk show and then we do like the pick show. But
I'll pick Evan's picks for next week. He's going to pick Rick. I'm just kidding.
I got one more accolade to finish off the show with. Tournament today. I don't know what was going up in Canada. They had tournaments going in today, Canadian Nationals. But Statmando's own Carl Lamoth takes down the win at the, let me pull up the name of it, the Christie Lake Summer Sizzler, a one-day event up in Ontario, Canada. He's playing MA2, my division, but he did something I can't do, which is actually win. He shot a 993 final round, went 18 down throughout the 2 rounds of the tournament, won by 12 strokes of a field of 16.
Big bagging.
He's rated 887.
Big bagger.
In MA2, that's well within the means. Great win for Carl. It's only his 2nd win of his career, and I'm pretty sure the other one was MA3 at this event a couple years back. So congrats, Carl. He said his putting was just working. It was just going in the basket. And I think the scores tell that. I don't need Carl to tell me that. Something was working. So nice job, Carl. You'll remember Carl from the Statmando charity trivia show that we did in the off season. So he was the one fact checking everything. And he was on the 100th episode too, when I was out in, so was Nick, out in Michigan, and I was doing it from the hotel room. Carl and the Statmando gang were in the background. So nice job.
Oh yeah. I want to shout out really quick Jason Orlowski, because I actually love this idea, but he said you should have a drop-off player too, and so we can call it the pop and drop segment. This is our pop and drop. Who popped off and who dropped off. It's kind of like Evan's dump and run, pop and drop.
Trying not to laugh over here after seeing Jason's comment, and you saw it too, and we were thinking about it, and I'm like, it's hard for me to make a pick right now looking at Idlewild being like, this guy is gonna suck.
No, I would say it's kind of like who dropped
average.
off
it's below,
last.
It should be furthest below average. So it's like this
are we saying like who's gonna suck this week?
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, I was thinking more along the lines of a drop off player of who did not perform. Like Anthony Barella missed cash this week. He would be my drop off.
Yes, you can do it that way, but if you kept it the same, pop off
is
that's above average.
That way, yeah.
Drop off is below average. So I don't know.
We might have to tweak that a little
bit. About it. I think it's legit. And if I went into it and I was like, oh, this is definitely not a course for AB, like Idlewild. I think he can, and maybe he will.
Yeah.
But like, you could pick a player like that and be like, yeah, this isn't going to suit them. But
yeah.
And if that player kept getting picked in a drop off, they should probably work on whatever it is that's causing that at those style events. But who am I to talk? I need to go practice. I need to rehab this ankle, guys. For what it's worth, I think I've done okay to get through the show. I can barely move my leg right now, and I'm going to have to go up and figure out what's going on.
Yep. Just elevate it, ice it, rest it.
See what's going on in the morning. No disc golf for a while. Okay.
Take it easy on it.
You can be like Paige, just throw forehands with your knee on a scooter.
I'll say it one last time. When I slipped, I think I was in midair and I had a glass bottle in my hand. And I was in the air. And people say things go slow-mo. I don't think it went slow-mo because it all happened really fast, but your brain works faster. And I clearly remember thinking, oh, that's not good throwing a glass bottle in the air. I can remember clearly thinking that. And then before I hit the ground, I'm like, I think this is what Paige said happened to her. And then just like, boom. And then just like laying there, dude. I'm telling you, the pain was real. I was like a minute just like, I can't move.
And in situations like that, it's weird how like when your brain's moving super fast, you're like, let me protect like these things that don't matter that much at all costs.
I was like, when the bottle hit the ground,
you're like, no way do I smash this glass. Like I'd rather mess up my ankle and have to go to the emergency room and be out for a couple months, like than drop this glass.
When the bottle hit the ground, you're right. I clearly remember too. Oh, it didn't break. What the heck? And my ankle, maybe it broke, but the bottle didn't break. Oh, man.
Last summer, when I lived in an apartment on the third floor of a, like, I don't even know, old house in Massachusetts, but however it works. I'm carrying a bunch of stuff down, going to a wedding that day, and like carrying like a cooler and things, and like my hands are full, and I trip down this stairs. And of course, I hold on to everything. Nothing drops, but I grab onto the railing and like fell 4 steps. And so my hand dragged along the railing and had like the worst burn possible in my arm. But hey, the cooler stayed intact and I didn't break anything, but my hand was messed up and was hurting the rest of the day. It was on fire. Brain works weird, doesn't it?
So in the chat, no x-rays, Matt, tonight. Yeah. Well, the show went on and I was trying to figure that out. It was literally within the hour before the show started, and I laid on the ground for an hour as it happened with ice and elevation. And then I looked at it and I said, the show must go on. I'm going to take a look at it. I don't think I want to go to the hospital. Urgent cares are closed. I don't want to wait up all night to find an x-ray. If it's bad in the morning, I'll go do that. Thank you for your concern. We've got a lot coming up. Nick's going to be up here in a few weeks for a while, and we're going to hopefully get out and do some cool stuff with fans as well as video coverage. We have the 10,000 subscriber thing going on. If you're still listening live right now, or if you're an audio listener, I know it's asking a bit from you to click out of whatever you're doing or to whatever. would you please, if you're an audio listener, we have thousands and thousands and thousands of audio listeners. If you're not subscribed on YouTube because you don't listen that way, which a lot of you don't, that's fine. But you'll help us just get over that notch if you just go to YouTube, click subscribe, do it for a week or two. If you hate it, unsubscribe, but get us to that number. We're happy for the support. Thank you guys very much. Shout out to Cosmic Disc Golf, CosmicDG.com. Cosmic, as you've seen the logo, the whole show, you see the banner underneath right now. Incredible owner of this store, first of all. Shout out to Dave. Second of all, he's got a setup where you can get paid to run a tournament. And he's going to make it easy for you. That's the other crazy part, is like, I don't want to say you're a warm body at the event, but you're there getting paid to run a disc golf event. Just reach out to Cosmic Disc Golf. CosmicDG.com will hook you up. All right, boys, we made it to the end. It feels 4 minutes early, which we did a full show.
4 minutes early.
I need to go
started
figure
20
out
minutes
this ankle
early.
deal, but we made it and appreciate your guys' time, and we'll see you out there. And I don't know, Nick, is there anything else that we need to talk about? Are we done?
I just want to give a huge shout out to everyone tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe on the video, please. We're going to say it 50 million more times, but please subscribe to the channel. Thank you to Discology. Thank you to Cosmic DG. Thank you to Max Wax, all supporting people of the show. I also just want to give everyone a quick little over at DiscuraDG.com. We're about to launch a massive site-wide sale. I also put down the price of my discs on there. They're $18 a pop. If you guys want to support me in any sort of way, go to DiscuraDG.com. Use code NickandMag. Get 10% off as well. But the discs are cheaper on the site now. And then also we have some sweet, awesome apparel that I wear pretty much every single day. So go check it out, DiscuraDG.com. Like I said, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Tell someone you love them this week. We'll catch you in the next one.
That sounds like a pop-off sale over at Discura. Pop off, baby.
It's going to be a pop-off. We're popping off and we're dropping
Just
off.
Everything's pop-off. Bro, I'm going to pop off today. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Nick, you're awesome. Evan, you're awesome. Ben, sleep tight in your tent or wherever you are camping in this world. Until next time, everybody, we'll see you out there. Peace out.
Peace.
The Nick and Matt Show, a disc golf podcast designed for you, the disc golfer. Find the Nick and Matt Show on your favorite podcast platforms or join the conversation live on YouTube.